Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar series presented by the Education Committee for the Southern California section of the PGA. The Catalyst webinar series is a bi-weekly educational platform for creating success and change in your club and career. This week, we'd like to welcome our presenter, Mike Duhamel of Blast Motion. Mike is a Class A Canadian PGA professional and product education specialist for Blast Motion. Mike grew up in Ontario, Canada, playing professional ice hockey for several years, turning to golf in 1999. Opened 3 new clubs in Canada as an associate professional. Mike decided to focus his career on competing, has played on the Australian Tour and various mini tours across the US and Canada. Also has caddied on the PGA, Web.com, and LPGA tours before opening his own coaching company, Mike Duhamel Performance Golf, coaching all levels of athletes from tour players to juniors. He's always been passionate about human movement and performance, which has led him to his role with Blast Motion. Blast Motion is an industry-leading technology company that was founded by PGA member and biomechanics pioneer Michael Bentley. He has also founded such companies and technologies as K-Vest and Enzo Shaft Fitting System. Blast Golf consists of a 3D motion sensor that goes on the butt end of the golf club and syncs to a free app. In addition, they offer a cloud-based coaching software called Blast Connect. This allows coaches and athletes to store, analyze, and communicate all in one place. Blast is currently trusted by over 200 of the best players and coaches in the world. Good morning, Mike. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar series.
Good morning, everybody. John, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here today to present to everybody. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy days. I know it's a busy time of year for everybody. Exciting time. We've got the NHL playoffs around the corner. We've got the Masters week, so happy Masters week to everybody. And I'm excited to be on talking about our technology. I think at this point, a lot of people have heard about us through the golf circles one way or another. And maybe you've heard of us, of the company Blast Motion, in various different ways other than golf. We are more than a golf company. We're a full technology company that has multiple sports. We're actually the official sensor technology of Major League Baseball. So any baseball fans out there, you might have heard of us that way. On the golf side, we've had an incredibly busy couple of years. We've been on the market for about 3 years now, selling the product. The last 2 years, we've been awarded Best in Show at the PGA Show. We were Best New Product in 2016, and then Golf Digest gave us Best in Show again this year. So we're riding quite a big wave of momentum between that and the tour players. It's been a very busy couple of years for our golf team. Like John mentioned, we have over 200 tour players using the product on a weekly basis, which is awesome for us. It also makes us extremely busy with a small team. We are lucky enough to have Brad Faxon as our brand ambassador. We signed Brad last year, and this is actually the very first putting aid that Brad has ever endorsed in his career. So we are extremely fortunate and lucky to have him on board in the Blast family, and very proud to have him representing our brand. We do offer a lot of different things at Blast. You know, with our background, John mentioned, we are players and coaches here at Blast, which I think makes us a little bit unique. We come from a PGA background, and we know how valuable education is, especially when you are leading a technology charge like we are. So we do offer Blast Putting Level 1 certifications here in Carlsbad. We are hoping that in the next couple of years we can grow this certification program to offer short game, full swing, all different sides of the game, whether it be mental, physical, technical, tactical, any side of the game that we can measure with our technology. We'd like to educate PGA professionals. So actually our certification is approved by the national office, and it's a 2-day program, and we offer 14 MSR credits for those who are interested. And we're also a a sponsor of the SCPGA section. So we're extremely proud of that relationship, and we want to do our best to educate members not only on our technology, but just understanding the biomechanics of the golf swing and the putting stroke. And we have this big, beautiful lab and facility here at Carlsbad that we would love to have everyone come and visit and take advantage of. We have an incredible solution package that only costs the golf professional $200. I'll walk through the presentation today so you can get a kind of a high-level view of what the technology is. And then towards the middle, we'll actually dive right into the app live so you guys can see the sensor in the app at work, and also touch on the Blast Connect platform, which you can see there. So we'll run through a couple of fun slides of tour players and some of the things they had to say about the technology. I mentioned Brad already. He's a big fan, and we're very lucky to have him. When we first showed him it, he thought that it was really going to change how we taught putting and how we looked at putting, and that's proven to be the case so far. We first went out on the Champions Tour actually to introduce the technology to the veterans, we call them, the older veterans, and we had tons of fun out there. We like to, this is one of our favorite pictures, we call them the kids in the candy store, to see these 50 and 60-year-old guys out there with a new lease on life, some of them with the full-blown yips, and had their careers derailed by their short game dwindling and their putting taking a nosedive. We're able to resurrect a lot of those careers, and those guys are enjoying a successful Champions Tour career, including the guy in the middle here, Jeff Sluman, who was ranked about 60th in putting when we first saw him on the Champions Tour, and there's only about 70 guys playing per week, so that's not a great stat. And he moved all the way up to first in total putting last year in 2016, so that was a lot of fun for us. We're also out on the big tour. We have tons of players. We don't pay any players to use the product. We have relationships with them and their teams, and we go out and help them from time to time, and they come into the lab to learn more about the technology and dive into the 3D data on the performance side. And so we've had a lot of fun on the big tour. With the introduction of Blast Connect, which I'll show you here in a little bit, we've really delved into the coaches world. It's an incredibly powerful tool for coaches and athletes to stay connected to one another, and it's incredibly affordable. So a couple of guys here that you know, lucky enough to have using the technology. And then a fun one here for us, you know, we like to say that putting greens will never look the same. And here we have these 50 and 60-year-old guys. We got Tom Pernice here on the right and Bob Twia here on the left with their phones out on the putting green. And some venues like Augusta National aren't huge fans of having the cell phones out, but we like to say, and we're proud to say, that we think that putting greens will never be the same. So if we get into our solution here a little bit, we call it our 360 solution because there are various different parts that make up our technology solution as a whole. We have a 3D motion sensor that John mentioned earlier that goes on the butt end of the golf club. If those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'll show you here in a few slides. The 3D sensor, the motion sensor, is incredibly sophisticated. We've learned a lot from the systems that we've developed in the past, and our founder, Michael Bentley, has created K-Vest and other systems that were wireless sensor technologies, and that sort of morphed itself into the Blast motion sensor. That sensor connects to a free app via Bluetooth, so you don't need a Wi-Fi to operate it. It's just connected via Bluetooth. The sensor is Bluetooth wireless, and it connects to the free app, and it gives you all of your putting and full swing data right to your app. We've since, in the last 12 months, launched what we call Blast Connect, which we refer to as the portal. It's an incredibly robust coaching solution that allows you, the coaches, and the leaders in the professional golf arena to have athletes use the Blast motion sensor, and that data, any and all data that's captured with a blast motion sensor can be sent up to your own personal cloud portal, which I will show you in a little bit. So the opportunity for the golf coach here is to purchase the blast motion sensors or become a reseller of the blast motion sensor. The sensor actually retails for $149.95, and we have a cost price or a wholesale cost for the professionals of $100. So there's an opportunity here to number one, not make such a large investment on the front end of your business, and then also make up that that initial very low investment very quickly with being able to resell the sensor to your students or your members, and have them join your portal. And now you have all this data being stored in one place, and allows you to really create an extension of your brand, what you're doing with your business, and you're able to stay in constant contact with that athlete or those athletes by their data being sent to the portal. And we'll show you a little bit about what that looks like. This is our tiny little 3D motion sensor here. It's about the size of your thumbnail that we mentioned attaches to the butt end of the golf club. So this blast man here that you see in view, that is the top side of the sensor. And when you place it on the golf club, all you do is you place it in this attachment, and this blast man faces you, and the head of blast man is going towards the toe of the golf club or the putter, going down the center of the shaft. So a little bit about our sophisticated sensor. We'll run through this really quick. Starting on the left here, the patented natural motion capture technology at 500 hertz. What this sensor allows us to do is it allows us for the athlete to use the sensor and almost forget that it's there. We have a calibration process that takes 0.3 seconds, so basically the blink of an eye, and the sensor is calibrating with you as you move. As there is that 0.3 seconds of quiet time, the sensor is able to calibrate, and it's ready, and it's looking for a motion. And when you do start that motion, what we are doing is we're looking at that motion at 500 hertz. What that means is it's looking at, if you can imagine picture frames, we're looking at a motion in 500 frames per second, which is quite powerful, considering other systems like a SAM Putt Lab or maybe other technologies that you've used in the past. SAM Putt Lab is a ultrasound technology, and it looks at a motion in 70 frames per second. So seeing the motion in 500 frames and being on the golf club allows us to be incredibly accurate. The three capture modes that we like to refer to, I'll run through those here in the next few slides. Online, offline, and video modes. So there's plenty of things that you can do with this sensor. Tons of fun as a tool for coaches and players. Dynamic calibration I touched on. Very, very cool. One of the biggest things that tour players love is just being able to move around, take this thing on the golf course with them, and actually capture real live data in a live golf environment. What that allows us to do is get some really cool numbers, and for the athlete or you, the coach, to get a deeper view into performance, understanding what your tendencies are on the golf course versus what you're doing in preparation. And the calibration allows us to use the product and almost forget that it's there, using it in its natural state. The offline mode data management is a really cool feature that allows you to connect the sensor to your club in the app initially, and then you can actually, as long as the sensor has a charge, you can actually turn off the phone or turn off the app and leave your phone or iPad in your bag, and you can go play a whole round of golf with this thing on your golf club, and we save all of that data. And I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. So personally here in the office, we love to go out and we will, we'll leave it on the golf club and connect to our putter for the first 9 holes and get all of our putting data and see what we're doing on the golf course. And then maybe we'll switch it over to the driver for the back 9, and we'll go look at our driving data. So really cool way to use the sensor and app in offline mode. We'll go over that in a little bit. I touched on Bluetooth smart technology. So the sensor actually is working via Bluetooth smart technology, and that's how it connects to the free app in your phone. We have a very intelligent battery management system within this little guy, and so there's no on and off switches. So what happens is when the sensor is not in use or it's not moving, it actually goes into we call like a level 1 sleep mode. So it actually is saving battery every chance it gets. When the sensor is turned upside down, so if you can imagine the sensor on the top of the golf club and the golf club, putting the golf club in your bag, it's designed to go into a deep sleep. So it actually it's saving battery every time that it's idle for a few seconds. The sensor only weighs 7.6 grams. So another thing that players absolutely love is it's non-invasive, non-intrusive, goes on the butt end of the golf club. So in a lot of cases, we actually hear feedback like it feels great. It almost feels like it counterbalanced on the top end of the grip. And then finally, the smart video capture, which we'll show you in a few minutes here. Really, really powerful tool for the golf professional, which is proprietary to our company. We call it smart video capture, that allows the data that's captured with the sensor to be overlaid on the high definition slow motion video that you capture from within the app. Pretty cool stuff. So this is what it looks like on the golf club. There's two different attachments that come in the box when you buy it. This is the standard side grip attachment, and as you can see, the sensor just this top part here, the rubber actually just flips open, and you place the sensor in there, and it's flush with the top of the grip, and you just roll the edges back over, and you're ready to go. So let's dive into the app here a little bit, and I'll show you guys a kind of a high-level view of what it looks like. And then we'll have some fun, and we'll actually go into the app live here in a few minutes. So we mentioned the online mode, and the online mode here is basically, this is the home screen of our iOS app. And so when you're looking at the home screen here, on the top you'll see an indication for a putter and then a Bluetooth icon. When these are lit up, that means that the sensor is connected to these clubs. When you're on this home screen here, this screen is actually designed to have Siri read the metrics for you. So if you're just on this screen and you're hitting putts or you're hitting shots, Siri will actually read this metric out to you. So it's kind of designed for a practice where you can leave the phone in your pocket and leave your headphones in and get instant feedback on what that swing or stroke is. The icon buttons here, which we'll go through in a little bit, the settings icon is on the bottom here. This is kind of your home base. This is where you will connect to different clubs, and this is also where you will design your app. The app is customizable, so you can move metrics around and things like that. The question mark, obviously self-explanatory. You can get a lot of help in here. We have all of our staff is in-house. So if you need to call customer service or send them a quick ticket or an email, you can do that from within the app. This icon next to it is the training center. We have tons and tons of content that is in the app already. So you can actually access this via the training center icon down below here, or you can actually click the blue icon next to the metric, and we'll go into that a little bit later as well. The number one icon here actually brings up a different view to view your metrics. So you don't have to stay on this home screen while you're hitting putts or hitting shots and only get one metric at a time. For example, we offer 11 total metrics for the putter. And when you click this number one icon here down below, that will bring up a screen that allows you to see all 11 metrics at one time. We'll show you that in a little bit as well. The camera icon is very cool, the smart video capture that I mentioned. As soon as you click this button, it activates the camera on your phone, and you can actually take a video in the app. And what's very cool about the smart video capture, like I mentioned, I'll show you a few videos here, is that the sensor data syncs to the video. Super cool and very powerful tool for coaches and players. And then finally on the far left, we have the history icon. And in the history icon, you're going to see all the actions that you've performed, And you can also access your stats in the app. So you can go in there and view stats from each golf club. We'll go through that as well. So this is the #1 icon that I mentioned, and so when you open this view, you can actually hit putts or make swings, and this is a great view for players who are looking for a little bit more information, or coaches. And this is actually the first screen that you will see as it's defaulted in your app. So on the first screen, we give you your timing metrics and tempo. And we'll explain some of these metrics a little more when we go into the live app. The offline mode, which I mentioned, is a mode where you can connect to the golf club. You can see I clicked on my settings button here, and I've clicked this icon, and I'm connected to this golf club. The offline mode that I mentioned is a very popular amongst tour players, that you can leave it on your golf club and go play. So what you do is you connect to the golf club, you exit out of here, you can close out your app, and then you can head out onto the golf course and capture data. When you're done on the golf course, what's going to happen is you will return to your phone or device, and you will fire up the app. And up top here, you can see how these are lit up now. So I got the icon lit up, I'm connected to the putter, and it's showing me the battery life in the sensor that's left. And right down below here on the history icon, you'll see a blue notification that tells you how many actions you have stored that are waiting for you. So pretty cool in offline mode. The sensor actually has a hard drive that saves all of your actions from the golf course. It cuts them up into individual actions and sends them into your history here waiting for you. So you would click on this number 27, and you would download those actions, and you can view them. If we skip over to the what we call video mode, this is the first look at smart video capture. And so I wanted to run through a few videos here that kind of show you fun ways of how we use it, maybe different viewpoints that you can look at. This is actually a fun day with Faxon on the golf course. As you can see here, I already have my shirt untucked. He's kicked my butt in the putting contest, and I'm retired already. So I just wanted to get a bird's eye view of maybe the best putter to ever play the game. So we'll go through some of these metrics here on the right, but you can see that those metrics are building real time on the video. And this is another cool vantage point. We have the phone sitting in one of our favorite little holders, and it's actually down low on the green. And this is a really cool vantage point from behind the hole. So now, all of a sudden, you have this 3D data that's synced with the video on the right, and you as a coach or an athlete don't have to rely on the camera angle so much anymore, but you can trust the 3D data from the sensor overlaid on the video. And when I play these videos for you here in the PowerPoint presentation, you'll hear a ding, and there's a little bit of a delay. That ding actually happens right at impact when you're live. There's just a little bit of a delay here in PowerPoint. So the sensor recognizes the start of the motion. It kicks it into slow motion for you to capture the video, and we're getting real live metrics as the putter is moving. So what's cool about the smart video capture is we actually auto-clip these videos for you. So as a coach, you don't have to worry about going in and editing these videos at all or clipping any video. We do all that for you. The app actually does it for you. That's why we call it smart video capture. So all you do is you set up the phone or the iPad, and you let this thing roll, and we actually auto-clip all these videos for you and send them into your history, which is really, really slick. This is us working with Brad on his short game, on his wedge game. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But for the full swing, we do offer speed, which we do very accurately. And then the biggest thing that we focus on with tour players is the timing of their golf swing or the timing of their putting stroke, and we'll go over that in a few minutes. So a fun few different vantage points here with driver, sand wedge, putter, different ways that we like to use the video feature. And obviously a really cool tool that you can share with your members, with your students. You can share these videos via social media, email, text, anything you can think of. You can share these videos very quickly right from within the app. So I'd like to touch on Blast Connect here really quick before we go into the live app and go online. So Blast Connect is a web-based portal that is also cloud-based, and like I mentioned before, it allows the coach and athlete to have all of their data stored in one place. So if you can imagine being a golf coach and you have, you know, a few hundred students, or you have, maybe your career is just getting started and you have a few dozen students, you have the opportunity to resell the sensor and create a nice little revenue stream for yourself. And then you can invite these students into your Blast Connect platform, which is essentially your own personal website. We create a URL for you. And all of the data that's captured on the Blast sensor is sent up to Blast Connect. And so you can look at players' performance real time. So as these players are remote and they are using the sensor, you can go on to your Blast Connect platform and see their data real time, which is obviously an incredibly powerful tool. It really offers some remote coaching opportunities for the golf coach. So kind of restructuring your programs to stay connected with your athletes. And a lot of the most successful coaches in the academies today are using it exactly how I mentioned. They're carrying either the golf club or the academy is carrying some sensors. They're reselling it to the student and getting those students invited into the Blast Connect platform and staying connected with them. So we'll go through some functionality within Blast Connect here in a few minutes. But obviously really cool. You can dive into each metric. You can see a graphical representation of each metric to kind of get an idea of how they're trending and what's going on with their performance. So what I'd like to do is jump out of the slide presentation here. And I'd like to go live with the app and have some fun. So I've got my app open here and I am going live. So I'd like to show you guys some functionality within the app, and then also really how the product works. So I'm going to go ahead here and kind of show you what we mean by online, offline, and video mode. So as you can see here, I've got the app open. It's showing me that I'm connected via Bluetooth. So my Bluetooth is on. I'm connected to a putter, and I've got 74% battery life in my sensor. If I click on my settings here, on the bottom right, it shows me what club I'm connected to. So I'm connected to a putter, and inside my settings here, I can actually see an entire list of my golf clubs that I've built. So what's cool is you can go in and customize and add a new club if you want, or we actually provide you with a whole list of clubs for you to get started. So we have an entire bag that's defaulted for you. When you click on the middle portion here, you can see the specs for that golf club. So we actually are asking you to input the specs for us when you create a new golf club. So let's go in here and let's show you guys what that looks like. So let's say you're first getting started with the product, and you can click on your settings here. You can go in, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, let's say you wanted to add your driver, for example. So you're going to click on this white field here, and that brings up whatever club you want to create. So you can select driver, and then you'll tab over. And the next field is asking for your brand. So you can actually choose from a brand here, which we are currently updating. It's extremely hard to keep track of manufacturers and their models, as you all know. There's something new coming out every 6, 8, 12 months, it seems like. And so what I'll do right now for getting started purposes is I'll choose Titleist. I'll just choose a driver here. The other, just to go back here for a quick second, the other thing you can do is you can choose other, meaning you can create your own, or you can choose quick start, which we default the driver for you to industry standard. So it's a 45.5-inch driver, 9.5 degrees aloft, and standard lie angle. So you can either choose a manufacturer or go in a different direction here. So let's actually choose other. Equipment, you can enter some detail here if you wish. Personally, the way we like to use the app is we like to kind of fly through this equipment portion because we've already told ourselves it's a driver. And then we reach the nickname field here. This is a hugely important field for you to enter the nickname of the golf club, meaning when we capture stats within our product, we're looking for the nickname of the club. So we actually store it by club. So for example, I am going to, this is a driver, I'm going to create, I'm going to call it Mike On Course Driver. So what that means is I'm setting up this club to only represent my on-course driver. So I'm going to connect to this club whenever I go onto the golf course because I want to understand the difference in my data between on the golf course and off the golf course. So I'm going to tab over here. I'm going to just leave the lie as a default. I'm going to leave my loft at 10.5 degrees, and then I'm going to enter the length. So I want to show you guys quickly here. If we click on this blue eye, we're asking you to give us a different measurement for full swing clubs, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. We actually ask for 2 different measurements when you're setting up a full swing club. So we ask for the first measurement, we want you to put the club up against the wall with the toe kissing the ground, and we want you to measure from the floor all the way up to the top of the handle as the first measurement. For the second measurement, we actually want you to measure the sweet spot, which for most clubs are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 3/4 inches to 2 inches to the center of the face. What this allows us to do is it allows us to be very, very accurate to the sweet spot of the golf club. So it's very important for us for things like swing speed, putter head speed, and also even your timing and tempo. So really important for us to understand where the center of the golf club is as you're building it. So I'll exit out here. That information is inside of the app, by the way. And right-handed. So now congratulations, I've added a new club, and then I can go okay. And what that's going to do is send me back to my club list, which is alphabetical order, and I can find my on-course driver. And in order to connect to that club, all I'm going to do is click this icon to the right. It says, you're currently assigned to another golf club. Would you like to connect to this one? Yes, I would. All I'm going to do is give the sensor a little shake, and I'm connected to a driver. So what's unique about our product is that the sensor turns itself into whatever club you tell us that you want to capture data on. So it's looking for a driver signature if you're connected to a driver. If you change over to your putter, it's actually looking for a putting signature. So it's very unique. So whatever club you connect to, the sensor actually turns itself into that golf club. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go back and connect to a putter so that I can show you what it looks like real time. So I get my sensor, I switch it over to my putter, and I am ready to hit some putts. So I'm actually going to hit some putts for you guys and show you what it looks like real time in the app. So what you'll see is when I hit the putt, you're going to see a blue line go across the bottom of the screen. And this is what we call online mode, and we're actually capturing data instantly. So online mode we often refer to as instant feedback. So like I mentioned earlier, I can leave it on this screen and I can look at one metric at a time. So if I put my finger in the center of the screen and I swipe to the left, I can see different metrics. Or I can click this number 1 icon and I can open up my metric view. So I can go ahead and continue to hit putts. And I can see my data building instantly. So what's great here is it gives us an opportunity to discuss the metrics a little bit. If we tab through over here on the right-hand side, you can see other metrics that we offer. So we actually offer all of your face rotation. So you can see here we have a back rotation of 1.2 degrees, open, forward rotation 2.9, and this is only to impact. For a rotation change of 1.7 closed. And this number is the difference between address and impact, just so you're aware. The measurements that we offer, loft, lie, rotation, with our product, it's the difference between address and impact. So we take a snapshot of address, and then we take a snapshot of impact, we capture impact, and we show you the difference between those two positions. We can tab through here and get into some other fun metrics. The backstroke length and the impact stroke speed are hugely valuable on the putting side. And then we see our loft here. So one of the things we'd like to mention is just how important it is to discuss these two metrics here, especially on the putting side. This is what we work with the best players in the world on, is these two metrics right here. How long it takes you to complete your backstroke and how long it takes you to complete your forward stroke. We've captured to date about 1.8 million putting strokes. We've got about 150,000 tour strokes and growing every day. And what we have seen with all the data we've collected is that the tour average for backstroke time is 0.60 seconds. And the forward stroke is 0.30 seconds. So as you can see, I haven't been working hard enough. My putting stroke's looking pretty good. These two numbers, backstroke and forward stroke, is actually what makes up the tempo ratio. So not to be misunderstood, tempo is not rhythm. Tempo is just the ratio between your backstroke time and your forward stroke time. So the backstroke time is calculated the moment the putter starts moving to the top of the backstroke, and then the forward stroke is from the top of the backstroke transitioning and all the way to impact. So we stop that clock at impact. So 0.60 and 0.30 are the ideal parameters for your putting stroke. Now, the reason why these two numbers are so hugely important is because timing is really the foundation for distance control. And as we know today, the biggest problem players have with their golf game in general is 3-putting. With all the research we've done, we've came across some incredible stats. The average club member or the average amateur three putts 30% of the greens that they play. So they actually three putt every third hole, which is absolutely staggering. And the reason for that is because the timing of their putting stroke is constantly changing. And when their timing of their putting stroke is constantly changing, they're also changing the force that they're applying to that specific motion, and it's not in frequency. So that's what we focus on with the best players in the world. The best performers in the world repeat their backstroke time to within 1/100th of a second on every single putt on the putting green. So if you can imagine from 4 feet or 40 feet, this backstroke time is going to be 0.61, 0.60, 0.59, 0.60, 0.61. Forward stroke will be 0.30, 0.31, 0.29, 0.30. The best players in the world repeat their timing regardless of the length of putt to within 1/100th of a second. The average amateur that's three putting or having difficulty with their speed control is varying around 2 to 3/10ths of a second on any given putt. So dramatically different in the way that the motion is created and dramatically different in the force that they are applying to the golf ball, meaning that it's incredibly difficult for them on any given day to create predictable speed control, which we know is paramount if you want to become a good putter. The best putter in the world three putts 3% of the greens that they play. And so we like to say that this technology with coaches, you have the ability to make somebody 10 times better on the putting greens. This is really how good they can get if they only work on these two numbers here. If they are able to consistently repeat these two numbers, then you are in great shape. The other two metrics that we love to use when we've perfected the timing is we love to actually go to the backstroke length and impact stroke speed. So what we like to say is that the blast sensor, it actually doubles as a clock, a ruler, and a speedometer. So with those three tools in your toolbox, you have all the tools you need to become an incredibly, incredibly good putter. And if you had this tool that you were working on, whenever you had a few minutes, whether it's in the office or whether it's at home, in the hotel room, on the road, you are going to get very, very good at putting. And it really makes putting fun again, which we are really proud of. The feedback that we're getting is awesome. Players starting to gain awareness of their preparation, understanding and getting instant feedback on what they're doing, and really taking performance to a new level. So if we run through a couple of things here that are really important in the app, I mentioned very briefly the blue eye that's beside each metric. So whether I'm clicking on the number 1 and bringing up the metric view, those guys are here. And whether or I can bring it up in the home screen here. If I click on that blue eye, what we've done is we've actually uploaded around 80 free videos in the app. So whether it's yourself using the product or any of your clients or your members, there's tons and tons of content within the app that you can access for free. So every metric that we offer has 4 videos associated to it. Now, obviously, the content works the best when you're in a good Wi-Fi connection. And so we can see here there's a little bit of delay in loading the content. But we offer 4 videos for every metric. We tell you what it is, what the metric is, why it's important, what is your numbers versus some of the best players in the world, and how do you improve? So what are some drills to help you improve these metrics? So as mentioned, you can access this content via the training center, or you can click on these blue eyes to view the videos. Let's jump over here to the history icon, and we'll open that up real quick. As you can see, each action is its own tile. We give you the time and date stamp for each action and each session. So what this is saying is this session started at 8:37 a.m. today, and there's 3 actions in each session. So you can click up here on these tiles to view different sessions from different days. And then you can also click on the stats here, which when you click stats, it leaves the app and it goes up to the cloud to pull down all that data. So we'll hang on for a quick second here while it retrieves the statistics of all clubs. So in the stats here, what's really cool about the app is we store 1,000 actions within the app. Once you've reached your 1,000th action, you'll receive a notification saying you've reached the limit. None of that data is lost. It goes up to the cloud. But within the app, you can only capture up to 1,000 actions. So once you take your 1,001 action, that's going to replace the very first action. So just so you're aware, that's what's happening in the app. So I could click on this here. This is my filter. So I'll go to all putters. I have all drivers, irons, wedges. I can scroll down to my, go find my Odyssey putter, which I just hit a few putts with. And it brings up the sessions in which I've used this putter. So what's really cool is up top I can have a look at my backstroke time. So the backstroke time is really, really important, kind of as phase 1 if you're working with players. You want to get an idea of how consistent their backstroke time is for every putt on the green. So if you click on this number 61 here, I can see the max backstroke time, and I can see my min backstroke time. So you can see here, this is a good indication of an average player. What you'll see, this is how much change you will see or variance in time. So with your average club member or maybe a player that's struggling with putting, 0.86 backstroke time is on the slower side or takes a lot of time. And then as we look at 0.36, it's a 0.5 of a second difference. So this player has a lot of work to do in order to become a better putter, and this product can provide the feedback for that. So you can check out various metrics within the app. But again, when we talk about the Blast Connect platform, it's this cloud-based platform that really houses all the data. So there's only a select 1,000 actions that you can capture with the app itself. So my recommendation with the affordability of Blast Connect is I would do that so I can house all the data. So we talked about the timing feature for the putter. Let's go in and talk about the timing parameters for full swing. Let's go find a good video here. So let's play this video. So the ideal timing parameters I mentioned for the putter is 0.6 and 0.3 in order to achieve your 2-to-1 tempo ratio. And actually the ideal numbers that we found for full swing is the backstroke time should take you around 0.75 seconds and the downswing time around 0.25 seconds for a 3-to-1 tempo ratio. So that's the ideal parameters that you'd be looking for full swing. So that's really a high-level overview of the app, and just a few indications or a few things to pay attention to here when you're looking at a video. These 3 icons down below, you can actually change the metrics that show up on the screen. You can turn off the slow motion, and you can turn off the metrics entirely. So there's some options there. And then this button here up top allows you to share the video. So if you wanted to share to social or email or text one of your students or clients, you can do that as well. So I will bring up Blast Connect here really quick, and I'll give you an idea of what this platform looks like. So as mentioned, just imagine yourself signing up for Blast Connect, and we create a unique URL for you. This is kind of a high-level overview of what the platform looks like. Dashboard here allows you to communicate with all the athletes that you invite to Blast Connect. So think of it as more of a Facebook platform. So any students that come in and communicate with you, all of the updates will be in your dashboard here. Analyze is where basically your home base is going to be. So I talked about being able to view your metrics in here. So as a coach, you would go and analyze Blast metrics, and you would go to your filter. So all your students would show up in this filter. You can go grab that person, choose what you're looking at, so whether it's putting or full swing. And then what this does is it mirrors the app. So I'm going to go find that Odyssey putter. I'm going to click that, and it brings up all my averages for this putter. So all of my averages for each metric comes up top. And if I scroll down here, it actually shows me all of the metrics for that individual putt. So it actually saves each individual action and allows you to see every metric associated with that action. You can click on this learn more about these metrics to learn more. And this is basically where you're going to live as a Blast Connect user, as a coach, to look at the metrics. The library is, like we mentioned, you can actually push videos up to Blast Connect for a deeper analysis. So all your drawing tools, sending a voiceover and doing an analysis of video, you can do that within Blast Connect. And you can send that to your students. So you can see we have some videos here, some before and after postures, which is kind of neat to see, the difference in players' postures. These are all tour players. So that library is going to be stocked with all the videos that you push up to Blast Connect. You can view all of your stats. So tons of functionality within Blast Connect here. You can actually prescribe workouts and practices to your clients. You can have them perform skills assessments. The play button here allows members to actually go in and enter their rounds of golf. And we actually calculate the strokes gained statistics versus the PGA Tour. So you can go to your golf stats here, and you can see how many stats we capture. So players can enter their rounds of golf shot by shot and literally allow the software to compare all their stats to PGA Tour averages. So it's a cool feature. So this is a really very quick high-level overview of the Blast Connect platform. Sorry to race through that, but I know we're running out of time, and I definitely want to get to some questions. So let me just bounce out of this real quick, and let's go over to I wanted to show you our website. So if you go to blastmotion.com and you go to Training Center, this is kind of the home base for you to find out more information about our products, both the Sensor app and Blast Connect. So you can see that golf is broken up into putting and full swing. You can go to Get Started here and watch Get Started videos for each product. You can look at all the metrics we offer and the drills for each metric. So this is an incredibly valuable resource for you as a coach to learn more about us. And then the services, you can go in and find out more about Blast Connect, watch some overview videos there. And then you can also find out more about our golf education, so our webinars and our certifications. So go online and visit, learn more about us. We have certifications here in Carlsbad, like I mentioned, and we would love to have you guys come and visit the facility. Bring some members down. You can always email me if you have any questions about any of the products. or if you'd like to come down and visit or be a part of the certification programs, touch base with me, and I can get one of our team members to contact you. So with that, John, I'd like to turn it over for a few minutes of questions, if we have any.
Yes, we do. Mike, fantastic presentation, and very, very good product there. I had some questions about, you talked a little bit about the difference between tempo and rhythm. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. In the past, we've talked about tempo as though it's the rhythm of the putting stroke, and what we really want to do as a company that measures is we just want to clarify for the professional what those mean. And so the timing of the putting stroke that we reference is just the elapsed time that it takes you to complete the putting stroke. So you start a clock at the beginning of the motion, you stop the clock at impact, and we cut it into two parts. The tempo ratio is just the ratio of those two numbers. So when we compare the backstroke to forward stroke, that's what the tempo ratio gives us. The rhythm of the putting stroke is actually how the athlete is applying force. So the rhythm of the putting stroke, which we see a lot of the times as coaches with our eyes, is when you see somebody with a very rhythmic putting stroke, what's happening is they're actually applying the same amount of force on the way back as they do on the way through. The only difference is that when you're completing your backstroke, you have gravity working against you. So you actually have gravity trying to pull the putter to the center of the earth. And on the forward stroke, you actually have it working with you. So what's very cool is that if you apply the same amount of force, if you can imagine a swing set and you're swinging somebody, and if you apply the same amount of force each time, that swing is swinging very symmetrical. If you somehow change the amount of force that you swing with, or you interrupt the swinging backwards and apply a different force on the way through, it's going to very much interrupt that motion. So that's what rhythm is. Rhythm is actually the amount of force that's being applied both back and through.
And it talked about timing is the foundation of distance control. Could you revisit?
Yeah, so basically what we mean by that is there's an ideal, if you think about setting a mousetrap for your putting stroke or a full swing, when you have the putting stroke or the motion being completed in a certain amount of time, it only limits what you can do with that amount of length and speed for that motion. So length and speed make up time, right? And so when we say 0.6 and 0.3, it's an ideal time, number one, for that pendulum motion to be swinging. There's some science behind that, which we go into in our certifications. It has a lot to do with the body and how the body's performing. But there's only a certain amount of time that you can complete that motion. So players that have a very dramatic change in timing is their backstroke length is changing as well as their speed. So when you think about, hitting the same putt from the same place, when your timing changes, now you have three variables to deal with. You have the timing of the stroke, the length of the stroke, and the speed of the stroke. All three of those become a variable, and that's what makes it very difficult to be consistent with putting. So ideally, you want to make timing a constant so that at least when you have one of those metrics, one of those patterns as a constant, then you're on the right track. Then all you have to do is adjust your backstroke length and your stroke speed for that given putt. But if the timing is changing as well, the timing pattern, it's changing how much force is being applied in the putt. The backstroke length is inconsistent. The speed becomes inconsistent. And it's also changing all of your angles as well. So there's a lot going on there. So that's the reason why we say it's incredibly important to get that timing dialed in every single day for every single putt. You should be getting yourself calibrated working on your putting.
And Mike, regarding the sensor, is the battery in the sensor rechargeable?
Well, there's a charger that comes in the box. There's a wireless charger that connects to a USB. So it's just a USB port, and the charger charges wirelessly. So the on-off switch that I talked about, all you do is you set the sensor on the charging pad, and it only takes about an hour and a half for the sensor to charge, maybe less, and that's from 0 to 100. And the charge lasts you about 8 hours of continual use. So I mentioned those kind of Bluetooth low energy modes where the sensor is going to sleep. It's constantly looking to conserve energy. So if you put the charger, the sensor on the charger every night, like we just get into a habit of doing that, so that the sensor is fully charged. It's not like a phone battery or an iPad battery. It won't kill the battery over time. So you can go ahead and leave the sensor on the charger for all night if you want, to make sure that it's charged for the following day.
And a final question here, with upgrades taking place with technology almost on a month-by-month basis, what kind of upgrades and future growth potential is for this product? What do you see coming down in the next 6 months to a year to 3 years to 5 years?
Yeah, incredible growth potential for us. With the amount of tour players and coaches that are using the product, we're constantly getting very, very valuable feedback. I know that for us as players and coaches with the golf product, we really want to have a product that is optimized for the golf coach. Right now, this is our consumer version of the product, which has a lot of bells and whistles to go along with it. In time, what we would like to do is we would like to have the golf coaches come through certification and get a very, very good idea of how to use the technology and what the growth pattern is there. And I see us actually in time offering a professional version of this product. I'd say I don't know if it'll happen before the end of 2017, but that's kind of what we have envisioned for the product. As of right now, all of the updates that we provide, whether it's user interface updates, whether it's enhancements, whether it's more metrics, different metrics that we offer, those are all free. We are not a company that has a philosophy to charge for updates, and so we want to offer the best product in the world of golf, and the golf coach is our direct consumer. The PGA professionals are direct consumer. So any updates that we provide for you are all going to be free, unless we announce that we will be launching a professional version of the product, which might be a different price point.
Well, thank you very much for that, Mike. As always, to the attendees for the Catalyst webinar this morning, we are recording this broadcast and webinar, and we'll be uploading it onto YouTube. So for Mr. Duhamel's contact information with Blast and Blast Connect, please feel free to contact him directly. Obviously, this is a very enriching training aid and educational tool that has got some tremendous value and also some very good financing too for PGA members as well. I want to thank Mike for his time today, and remind everybody that as usual, the Catalyst webinar quiz, 10-question quiz, will go out here shortly. Please take the quiz and return it to Sharon Kerfman at pgahq.com. A score of 70% will earn 1 MSR credit for attending today's Catalyst webinar on Blast Motion. Thank you, Mike, and thank you everyone for attending. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.